Okay, we're ready for HMS Grand Temple Universal Pirate Shipping Fleet versus Guide Grim to the Goodies in a 1v1 standard competitive game, not using the more than half endgame trigger. And we've got each fleet has their coins out, we've got events, the oarsmen ready to start the game on the home island, got the measuring tools, UT booklet, some extra dice. It's only going to be 20 minutes per fleet for this game for the chess clock, and got a nice looking ocean ready to go. Okay, ready to start the setup phase. So we're gonna roll, see who goes first. Generally, red die is gonna be HMS GT UPS, since English have red in the flag, and then black and white for the Guide Grim to the Goodies fleet, because it's mostly a pirate fleet. So we'll see. Okay, so the Grim fleet will go first, and therefore they're gonna place the first island. I'm going to make sure I have my rules ready for all the different elements of this game. So fleets have been placed, choosing events. They've chosen the events and set up. So we've gotten die roll out of the way. So 3 islands per player. Starting with the first player, players take turns randomly choosing an island. There are no mysterious islands for this game, so I'm not going to do random because it's just kind of unnecessary. It just adds a little bit of extra time to the setup phase. So I'm not going to do random. But so the Guide Grim to the Goodies fleet, they want islands to be approximately 3L apart from each other, the minimum distance, because they don't have any extra actions in their fleet, and they therefore they're not going to be able to get to islands in one move action generally. So they're going to go ahead, plop the first island down, kind of middle north right there. And then HMS Grand Temple UPS fleet, they want islands to be approximately 4L apart. And that's because HMS GT is her max speed in this game is going to be 6S with a helmsman to boost her to SSS. And then Micron on the Patagonia is planning to give her a second action most turns, or maybe every turn. So her maximum speed is 6S, and that's a little bit farther than 4L. So that way, if the islands are 4L apart from each other, she should be able to get from one island to another in one turn. And they don't really want them farther than that because they want HMS Grand Temple to be able to use the UPS. They want to be able to use Captain Jack Sparrow to trade coins home with regularity. So they're going to go pretty much exactly 4L away from this island here. So happy to be using my measuring tool that Red Goat gave me from PDXER back in the day. So there's that. That's the second island, third island. Guide Grim to the Goodies. Probably just going to use this only. So I got 3L on this. So 3L is the minimum distance. So we're going to go. They also have to think about the rest of the setup. So they're going to go 3L from this one, but they also kind of want to be 3L from these as well. It's a little more, so I can move over a little bit. I'm going to make sure it's not. Yeah, that looks okay. Yeah. Tiny bit south. Okay, that's fine. And then now the next fleet's going to go 4L over here for island number 3. And this fleet, or this game, is going to feature a 20-minute per fleet turn timer, which is the shortest I've done yet. So we'll see how that goes. If it's too short, there's a chance I'll play another game, but I'm not sure if that would be today or not. But they might have a rematch if it does seem like too short of a time span. So I'm going to go 3L, second to last island. It's going to be 3L up here. Actually, they're going to go over here. Yeah, the Grim fleet can actually make these kind of close here. They measure this way over here. They got to go up a bit, but that's fine. Okay, that looks pretty good. Yep, 3L apart from both of those. And then the last island, this is a tough one actually, because now the GT fleet, I don't think they can't really go 4L away. It's not a huge map, so in the future I might do I'll do a bigger map. I probably didn't use the whole thing because I knew neither fleet would want islands 6L apart, like the maximum distance. So they could go in the corner. They might do that, or they could go up here. This is probably the better corner, actually. Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, they're gonna go 4L. They still don't want to, they don't pick their own home islands. They don't want to have it too far away. I guess they're gonna be picking the Grim fleet's home island once terrain are placed. So the last player, so the GT fleet, chooses which island will be home island of the first player. So they might as well place this one as far away as possible, knowing that they can then pick it as the home island of the Grim fleet. So that's probably what they're going to do. So they're going to go, they don't really care that this is going to be more than 4L away from that. They're just going to try to basically put it as far away as possible. I'm not going to go like on the edge, but it'll be pretty close. And it's not more than, it's still about 4L. But anyway, so that looks like a fine setup. And then so we'll get into placing terrain. So now they have to figure out how many terrain pieces to use. So and they have to be at least S away from any island or other piece of terrain. The GT fleet wants whirlpools and fog banks, and the Grim fleet wants only fog banks. And the Grim fleet right now is seeing HMS Grand Temple and the other fleet, and they know they don't have combat capability. And they see Patagonia, she has to start the game with Robinson and Bradley face up. And then she's got one face down crew, which it doesn't take much to wonder if that might be Lord Micron. It is. The Grim Fleet doesn't know that, but they can kind of think it might be because Robinson is there. So they're pretty worried about HMS Grand Temple, so they want to put a ton of fog banks out there. And so I think they're going to have a roll off. I think the HMS GT fleet, they want to put maybe 2 whirlpools and like 2 fog banks. They're going to vote for 4 terrain. Guide Grim to the Goodies is going to vote for 6 terrain. So since they can't agree, they're not going to come to a consensus. Wolf says to roll dice and let fate decide. So red for GT, white for Grim. So we'll see who gets their. Okay, so it's going to be 4 terrain per player. So GT gets their wish there, but Grim, as the first player, still gets to place the first terrain. So they're going to plop a fog bank down. They kind of do think that might be their home island based on the island placement. So they're going to put a fog bank there in the hopes that if it does become their home island, they would have a fog bank there. And then HMS Grand Temple fleet, they're going to, I think they might, actually they're going to start with the whirlpools. So they're going to place, so if they know they're going to put Grim there, they want to have a whirlpool probably not too far away. They can see that there's a face down Viking crew on Cassandra. I mean, they don't know if it's Grim, but the odds are high because there's not many other Viking named crew that you'd probably want to use in a remotely competitive fleet. So yeah. So if they know Grim's going there, they don't know where they're going to be placed. With HMS Grand Temple, they kind of feel like they might get placed farther away. So they're probably not going to get a home island in either of those spots. So they might just kind of put a whirlpool. They might put whirlpools like in general, like here and over there, like one west, one east, probably. I don't think they're going to overthink it too much here. And then the Grim Fleet, like I talked about, they want all fog banks. So they're just going to go and make sure that there's plenty of those out there. They're going to put one S away from this whirlpool. And then the Grand Temple Fleet is going to place their second whirlpool, which I think is going to be their final one. They're going to put it in the middle, right over there. And you can even really gamify this and pre-measure. So with the Grand Temple's bow sticking out from a whirlpool, they know that they'll be in range of any of these 3 islands if they come out of that whirlpool. If they're able to, for example, use Micron to get a second action after whirlpooling. So, all right, so that's the second round. 2 more rounds of terrain left. So the Grim Fleet is going to keep on the fog train here. So they're going to pop one. They might actually try to disturb that a little bit, or at least place fog banks near whirlpools a little bit. Grand Temple fleet, now they're going to go fog as well for the rest of their terrain. So they're going to plop one there. And then the Grim fleet, they're going to place, let me see, I kind of like to change the shape of the fog banks up a little bit. Sometimes, the same one makes its way in the same shapes, but that's fine. So, all right, so last round for terrain. Grim fleet has a bunch of fog out there. I'm going to do one more. Yeah, there's one pretty close to each island. So that's good for them. But they're going to do one. We're going to do one like right here, making sure it's SOA. Okay. And then last terrain, which is kind of an interesting gambit. The HMS GT fleet could change gears, but I don't think they're going to. They could put a Sargasso Sea out there based on seeing the Morocco and Banshee's Cry, a couple small ships in the other fleet. But yeah, they might do that. There's already that's a good amount of fog, and they're starting to realize that more fog might actually just aid the enemy fleet more than it would help them. So therefore, they're going to plop a Sargasso out. It probably won't come into play, but they're going to plop one. And knowing that they're going to pick that home island for the Grim fleet, they could probably going to put it near there. Yeah, that's a good idea. I like that idea. They're going to go SOA from that fog bank. Probably easy to avoid, but whatever. Okay. So both fleets are pretty happy with the setup, I think, or at least the terrain options being used here. So let's go to the next part. Choosing home islands. The last player chooses which island will be the home island of the first player. So HMS GT goes second, and then they'll have to place their ships so the bows touch the island. So, all right. So we've already pretty much established where Guide Grim to the Goodies is going to go. Oh, and actually, there's a Jolly Mon in both fleets, but this one is a proxy. It's the Zephyr. So this is the Jolly Mon of the Guide Grim to the Goodies fleet. So I just don't have two right now. I have two, but one's in New York State, and the other one's here in Nevada. So anyway, alrighty. So they're gonna go. They're placed to go here. And now they got to optimize their setup. So Morocco is gonna be spying. Banshee's Cry is a little slower. I remember she does not have a helmsman. So in terms of strategy, they got to place their ships based on where they know they'll put HMS GT fleet. So they definitely want the Grand Temple as far from them as possible. So, I mean, they do want a home island raid, but that might not happen for a while, probably. So, and yeah, with Flat Earth, I'm probably going to do some competitive games with Round Earth, but with Flat Earth, they could have a pretty crappy home island location here. So they're going to, they know, okay. Another factor, though, is that they know they have Becalmed, and they can play that on the first turn, and they're going first. So that's brutal. So they can actually flip Becalmed and essentially go twice, as long as they get the location of the event token correct. So either way, they want GT as far away as possible. So probably going to pick them to go there or there. I think that's probably the best option. Yeah, neither of these spots make any sense. This is debatable, but it's a little too close probably. So I guess if they go to each here, are they more likely to get there or there? If they're more likely to get there, they'd probably put GT there. But Whirlpool, they kind of don't want the Whirlpool near the GT home island, actually, because that would make it easier for them to come back through and hit this home island or intercept a home island raid in progress or on the way back. It probably won't matter, but it's a little bit farther away from that island, that Whirlpool. So I think they're probably going to put GT up there. I think both fleets are going to be in the north generally. So in that case, I think Morocco is the more important gold runner. So she's probably going to go here. Banshee's Cry might risk this island. I suppose it's pretty debatable what to do. But and then Jollyman is basically just there for the Hag of Tortuga to add +5 points to the build total. She's trying to stay docked and stay safe the whole game. So one of those home island campers, if you will. Okay. So I think they are going to go ahead, put the HMS GT fleet in the northwest. Now I'm standing over here, so I have a slightly different perspective on it. But it seems like probably the best option. Either of these, if they home island raid, either way they'll have a fog bank nearby for Grim to hide in potentially. So I think this is probably the best option. We'll see. But anyway, so HMS GT fleet, Patagonia and Jollyman. Patagonia is definitely trying to stay docked. She's just trying to use Micron to give double actions to the Grand Temple every turn. So nearest, okay, this is interesting because they have Hidden Cove and they'd like to use it on the first turn. So I think this island is closer. Yeah, it's like 3L away. Exact. Well, actually, they're both. I think if it's a tie, I think you probably get to choose. Let me see if that's in the code under Hidden Cove. So I'm partly doing this full setup because it kind of gives you an idea of what can actually happen during setup and how complicated some of the decision making can get. And I'm sure it's going to get more complicated with some of the other competitive games and competitive fleets that I end up doing. So I actually didn't see anything in the pirate code about if there's a tie between closest islands. So I'm pretty sure the Hidden Cove controller gets to pick which wild island if there's two at the same distance away. So they're probably going to go here because it's closer to that fleet. Okay. So, and then Core Du Leon is going to be transferring crew. Jollyman might be as well, but we'll see. She might try to get like 1 coin from this island. We'll see what happens. And then, okay. So they're going to have an English and French oarsmen on their home island to start. Because Core only has room with the princess aboard. She only has room for one more crew. So, all right. And then we've got the other islands are wild. So technically we don't place treasure yet. So placing crew, if you've chosen crew, blah, blah, blah. So they already have their +5 selections. Normally this is when you like place the crew. I'm probably gonna do like a full meta game at some point where there's like a crew selection meta where you change +5s based on what your opponent chooses. But both fleets are pretty happy with what they've already got when I built the fleets. So they're not gonna jockey for position and change their +5 selections based on the other fleet. I do want to experiment with that at least once this year at some point. But so placing equipment, none of that. So placing treasure. So each fleet has 8 coins for 15 gold, and shuffle them up here. It's a bunch of UTs. You can find links in the description to these fleets on PSM list, and that's where you can check out the details of what they've got. But you'll see if you watch the battle report, you'll see all the different coins and UTs and whatnot they contributed. So I do know that there's 8 total unique treasures in play, so that's a decent amount. So all right, so 4 per island, pretty simple. And then pretty much ready to go from there. So the first player takes the first turn, and then we'll be off. So I'll get the chess clock ready to go, and we'll see who can win in this game. Okay, we're ready to play. So Guide Grim to the Goodies is going first, and I've got the chess clock set up, 20 minutes per player. I can move it out of the way slightly if that gets in the way of the ocean. And on the right is going to be the Guide Grim to the Goodies timer, and then on the left, just because of the way the home island selection turned out, so the English Pirates or the GT fleet will be on the left. So without further ado, we'll get going. So timer starts, and they're immediately going to flip the Be Calmed event. And I'm actually going to pause it right away just so we can read what it does in case you're not familiar with it. So Becalmed is a staple of competitive play and one of the best events in the game. So it says reveal this event at the beginning of one of your turns and place this token anywhere on the play area except on an island or a ship. No ship within L of the token may be given a move action unless she can move when derelict. Remove Becalmed from the game at the beginning of your next turn. So this is devastating. It's basically going to freeze the enemy fleet. This is usually best played on the first turn of a game. So they're going to plop it right here. So that's within L of every ship in the opposing fleet. So none of them can be given a move action unless they can move while derelict. So the interesting thing, though, is that Hidden Cove is not considered a move action. So they should be able to use the GT anyway, at least with Hidden Cove, not really give it a move action, but okay. And then for crew purposes, Cassandra has a helmsman, Morocco has a helmsman, and Banshee's Cry has Lucky the Parrot, so it can spy a face-down cargo on any ship. So her and the Cassandra both have that, so they can look at 2 face-down enemy cargo per turn. So now they know HMS Grand Temple has Captain Jack Sparrow and a helmsman aboard. So I'm just going to flip those, so because now both fleets know, so it's just whatever. And then Morocco, once per turn, can look at a face-down treasure on any island. So they anticipate GT maybe going here, so they're gonna look at this. So okay, so they know that's a 3 now. The Grim fleet knows it's a 3. So now they're gonna start moving. So Morocco is gonna move 3 S's out here. 1, 2, 3, and then Cassandra's gonna follow her because Morocco is essentially going to be a UT sponge in case there's any negative UTs. She's going to explore first, and then Cassandra might be able to pick up the last coin from that island. And then Banshee's Cry is going to move L and then L out here. Let's see if she can dock. Oh, just barely. Ooh, that's really close, especially because the islands were placed about 4 L apart. It looks like she'll just barely get there. So, okay, so their turn's over. HMS Grand Temple fleet, Becalmed. So they can't be given move actions unless they can move while derelict. And currently only Patagonia can, but she doesn't have anything good to do. She doesn't really want to, she doesn't have a fog bank to duck into or anything. So they are going to play Hidden Cove. So they're going to cove out the Grand Temple and dock her at this island right here, right in the way of Banshee's Cry. So Banshee's Cry might not be able to dock now. So, and that's actually they're gonna conclude their turn there. So Becalmed goes out of the game, and now the Grim Fleet can use Hidden Cove, but I don't think they should. It's nearest wild island, unexplored wild island, or with no treasure on it. They could, but I think it would be. They might actually. It might really slow things down. This is a tough one. I think they're going to see what they find here, and then I'll make a decision based on that. Actually, they can spy. So they're going to spy crew first. So I'm going to have the timer run as if it was their turn started with spying on the last HMS Grand Temple turn. So they see an explorer on HMS Grand Temple, and they see Aristide on the core. Now it's their turn again. So they see Micron on Patagonia, so that's important. They're not surprised, but they see him now. And then they see an English oarsman on the Coeur du Lion. So they pretty much know the UPS strategy they're going to be facing. And now they've seen all of the enemy crew. So they know all the crew in the HMS GT fleet. And now they're going to spy on the island on the previous, as if it was the previous HMS GT turn. So they see a 5. They're trying to determine if Banshee's Cry should get Hidden Cove to this island and then explore it. And they're going to look at one more, actually. Okay, Cross of Coronado. So that's a defensive UT. So that's a pretty good island right there. So they might go there. I think they're probably going to use Hidden Cove with the Cry, but we'll see. So now Morocco is going to go over here. She's going to dock on the west side of the island. In case Grand Temple comes over, it's harder to hit the Cassandra. Cassandra's going to dock on the other side of Morocco. So they explore the island. Oh, nice. 13 gold and Neptune's figurehead. Gorgeous island. Okay. So although I'm not using the more than half the treasure rule, it's still, you're still probably going to need 16 or more to win. It depends on how things work out. But so 6-4-3. So Neptune's figurehead is face up. That goes on Morocco. She has to take it. And then I'm wondering about, they got to make a decision, but I think Morocco is going to take, she's going to take all three, I think. Actually, no, she's going to divvy it up. I think she's going to divvy it up. Yeah. She's going to leave the 6. She's going to leave the 6, and then Cassandra's going to pick it up. This is where the timer really comes into play, because normally I would think about this more, but I just got to keep going. So that's where it's going to get fun. All right, so 6 goes to Cassandra. And Morocco had to reveal her Explorer to use that. And they're going to say, what the hell? They're going to throw caution to the wind. They're going to play their own Hidden Cove proxy, but they're going to cove out Banshee's Cry to this island here. And then they're going to move away and redock. So, and then use Explorer, basically. They're going to go, I'm trying to think where they should go. Probably outside of range, yeah. Yeah, they're just going to redock there. And then Banshee's Cry does have an Explorer. So Guide Get into the Goodies is really benefiting from going first right now. Let's see how things turn out. Okay, the other UT is trees on this island. Wow. Okay. So Banshee's Cry has 2 cargo spaces open. So she's going to take the Cross of Coronado and a 5. She's going to leave the 3. Actually, that's debatable. Cross of Coronado will help her stave off a mass elimination, but she might just get sunk anyway. She's going to load. She doesn't want to get captured, though, so that's tough. She'll take the cross in the 5. We'll just see what happens. The timer is going to kind of affect how optimally I play this. Normally, with more time, I might be able to optimize it better, but 20 minutes might also be too quick. So, all right, GT Fleet, they're going to have Grand Temple. Now there's only 2 coins there. So they're going to go ahead. I think they're going to move, shoot, and explore. So Grand Temple is going to come over here. They could go after this. That's an interesting option, but I think they're gonna see how this goes first, basically. So, all right. So they're gonna redock. They're gonna shoot before they explore. So I'm gonna shoot. I think they're gonna shoot to dismast first. So I'm gonna go stern to bow. So 2L. So 4 hits. And then, so that reveal, that's going to prompt them to use Cross of Coronado. So that basically eliminates the hit. Now they're going to shoot again with a 2L. That hits as well. So now Banshee's Cry is dismasted. And they're going to explore the island now. And they find trees in the 3. So the 3 is going to get flipped home via Captain Jack Sparrow. It goes to the core. The core's English oarsman comes out to the Grand Temple. I'm just going to put it face up because both fleets know what it is. And the core now gets an explore action to unload the 3. And it's going to get plussed up with the Aristides +2 ability. So I'm going to pause it real quick so I can get a couple of coins out just to make sure I have the 2s that I need. Should have gotten them out beforehand, but that's okay. So we're going to add a 2 from outside the game. And treasure is face up. I think I'm going to do a couple competitive house rules where like treasure stays face down too and things like that, but we'll see. So, okay. All right, I got to keep the timer going now. So now they have Micron to give another action to the Grand Temple. So I think they're going to capture the cry, I'm pretty sure. I think they want to do that. They could head over. There's not really any point though. Yeah, they're gonna have Jolly. I don't know. I think they're gonna have Jolly Mon head to this island. I think they're gonna try to explore with her because they're not gonna send another coin home. It's trees anyway. So yeah, they're gonna the second action for the Grand Temple capture the Banshee's Cry. So that's becomes part of the GT fleet, and they're gonna end their turn there. So all right. So next fleet. This fleet, they can spy. Okay, so now they're gonna spy 4 between, or no, 2. Sorry, for Morocco's ability, they can spy 2 coins. So they want to peek at these. So I'm basically doing the last turn of HMS GT and then also their current turn. Okay, so they see a 3 and Barbary banner on this island. The timer also makes it harder to keep track of how much gold is in play. I'll try to remember what they've seen, but it's tough. So with Barbary banner, that's almost like 8 total there. So this Barbary banner is worth 5 if loaded by a non-Barbary Corsair ship. So, and then 1, 2, 3. So Morocco, and then that's it really. I don't think they have much else going on. So end their turn there. And then the GT fleet, they're gonna keep Jolly Mon headed to this island. She'll get there next turn, and then they're gonna have the GT. They're gonna dock here. Yeah, they're gonna dock like right there with 1 segment. Banshee's Cry automatically docks at the island. There should actually be explored tokens here. Let me add those. So they've both explored it now. And then Banshee's Cry is going to be given an explore action to trigger the trees, I think. Yeah, she's going to trigger the trees and put the 5 on the island. So with the trees UT, she's able to repair. She puts the 5 there. And now, so trees goes out of the game. HMS Grand Temple, her second action via the Patagonia, Lord Micron, she's going to re-explore the island to send the 5 home. So yeah, she's not going to bother redocking. So she's going to explore. Oh, and right before that, Core loaded up an English oarsman, and now we're going to swap them. So this coin goes to the Core. Oarsman comes out to the island. Grand Temple is already full on crew, and she already has an oarsman, so doesn't have any room to load it, but that's fine. And I think Banshee's Cry is going to load it actually via the free transfer rules. It's actually going to load it. And now Banshee's Cry, they have Lucky the Parrot. So they're going to spy Cassandra's face down Viking crew, and they see it is Grim the Savage. So HMS GT fleet knows that Grim the Savage is in the other fleet. Coeur du Lion gets an explore action to explore the home island, puts the 5 there. Maurice Aristide bumps it up with a 2. So they've already got 12 gold total, and they're trying to get to both of these islands, so it's looking pretty good for them. They didn't go first, but they got probably a little better home island situation. So, all right. So I think that's all they can do. So Grimfleet is going to return home. They're going to return home in a position where the ships are touching. So 1, 2, 3. So she's going to return home like that. So Morocco is touching the island and the Cassandra. She's going to transfer Neptune's figurehead next turn, but both get home, and they both unload, which is nice. So 13 gold total put on the home island for the Grim fleet. So pretty big scores already. 13 to 12 right now for the Grim. Grim fleet's in the lead, but I don't feel like they look too good. They'll probably catch up on time though, because their turns are going to be more simple for the most part. All right, so Grand Temple is going to be given 2 actions, I think. She's going to come 1, 2, 3. Jolly Mon. It's going to go 1, 2, and then they've got Banshee's Cry. with an explorer and everything. So that's really good. They're probably going to try to get some of that gold home from over here. So she's going to go LL. And then Lord Micron, Patagonia sacrificed their action to give Grand Temple a second action. She's going to go 1, 2, 3 S's. Then she's going to explore this island in the south. And whoa. All right, 4 UTs. And it looks like they're all face up. I think she's got to load them all. So she gets Relics, which is a defensive UT, Letter of Marque, and then Homemade Flag, and Albatross, which is the one negative. The Grand Temple is like full of unique treasures now. Pretty sure none of these come into effect right now. So I don't need to do anything about them. I guess she could send one home, but I don't know that they want to bother. They don't want to put a crew from the home island at this island. So they're not going to send any home. And then final thing of the turn, free transfer rules. Kaur is going to load the French oarsman from the home island. Still face down, I guess, but anyway, so that's their turn. And then we go to the Grimfleet. So Grimfleet, Morocco. So they can spy. They got to spy 2 more. So they saw the banner and a 3. They might be behind on spying, but anyway. So 2 more 3s. So now they can really game plan. So they know that there's 9 gold here, but essentially 14. As long as Morocco doesn't load it, banner will be 5. 14 and 12 is 26. And I forgot to put this face up, but realistically it should be. So it'd be 26 to 13. So they're going to get blown out somewhat if they don't get some stuff from here or home island raid. So that's not really surprising, but anyway. So, and now Neptune's figurehead, Morocco is going to explore the Cassandra to give Cassandra Neptune's figurehead. And Cassandra is going to take off, basically. So I think the lack of extra actions, though, is really going to hurt them. I don't think this fleet can compete with a double action Grand Temple UPS fleet. So they're doing okay, but I think that's all they can do. All right, so Jollymon's going to explore this island and soak up any negative UTs. She does find Barbary Banner, and she's actually not going to load any of the 3s. I think they want Banshee's Cry to take one of those. Actually, yeah, they're not going to take any because Jollymon has a negative ability, slows down when she reaches her cargo limit. So she's going to take the banner, which doesn't take up space. So therefore, she doesn't reach her cargo limit. So, and Grand Temple is going to come over here soon anyway. So Cry can't quite get there. They've explored the island. Grand Temple, first action, 1, 2, 3. Second action via Micron on Patagonia. It's going to be 1, 2, 3. She comes in via Captain Jack Sparrow. She's going to be able to trade a treasure home. So she's going to flip the 3 to the core. The core's French oarsman comes out to the island. And then core explores the home island, deposits the 3, pluses it up to 5 total. So now they're in the lead. Now they got 17, it looks like. So they're probably going to win. It seems like. We'll see. And I think that's pretty much all they can do. So, and then, yeah, I guess, yeah, the writing's on the wall. They don't need to use Morocco to spy anymore, the Grim Fleet, because they've already seen all the coins. They know what's going on. So, especially with home island coins face up, that really changes things there. So, was that 2 or 3? Let me see this again. She was here. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So 1, 2, 3 for this turn. I think part of the problem is that they might have to build a fort just to extend the game to try to home island raid because they're not going to be able to get enough gold without raiding. So, all right. So back to the GT fleet. So now they kind of want to just hightail it for home. So at this point, Grand Temple fleet, they see the scores. They know they're ahead. They want to just get as much gold home as fast as possible. So they're going to work on doing that here. So Banshees, I think they might be able to. Banshee's Cry is going to move to redock up, or not redock, but dock up here. These are both 3s. So she's going to dump, she might take both, actually. Yeah, she's going to dump the English oarsman from earlier that she picked up. She's going to pick up both 3s. And they forgot to use Lucky the Parrot to spy this other crew, but now they see it's Crimson Angel, who is the one that would allow Grim to use its abilities, of course, on the Cassandra. So both fleets now know every coin and crew in play, so no need to spy for either fleet anymore. Unless new stuff was introduced, but I don't think that's going to happen. So Kawar probably won't get in action this turn. And now Grand Temple, she's just going to run interference, I think. I think I might have to roll for Albatross. It's right on the front here. So beginning of each of your turns, roll a d6. On a result of 6, the player to your right places Albatross in another of your ships. Albatross cannot be unloaded unless the ship it is on sinks. Okay. So I forgot to roll for that last turn, so I'm just going to roll for it now. It was last turn. Okay. Out of 6. And, okay. So this turn. Okay. So this time, they don't really want it on a different ship. Grand Temple is the one they want it on. So that's actually bad for the Grim Fleet. So I guess they'll put it on the Banshee's Cry. It doesn't really matter too much. I'll put it on the Cry. I'm just going to put it there so I remember it better. And then Grand Temple, she can just run interference now. She can just go blow up Grim the Savage. I don't see this is going to be a pretty predictable ending, I think, but that's okay. So sometimes it just works that way. The other games I played so far in 2024 have been like crazy hype, so I'm kind of due for almost like a less exciting end game, if you will. Unless they can get that fog bank, but I don't think they can. So that was the first action. Patagonia Micron gets a second. So she's going to go like right there, try to hide behind the island. All right, and then that's their turn. So the Grim Fleet is next up. Yeah, this is ugly. Problem is they can't get anywhere they need to go. They can't get to either fog bank. Nah. They can't get to the Whirlpool either. Well, maybe the Whirlpool. Let me make sure here. Just barely, yeah, they could get to the Whirlpool, but then they're here, so they're not really, doesn't really help them much. Yeah, they really need they need a Micron in their own fleet, basically. That's pretty much what needs to happen. Morocco can't reach this island. So if they were going to build a fort there, they would have to build it with Cassandra. So it's not a great option either. So if they start hiding, they're just going to end up, the game's just going to end because the Pirates want it to end sooner rather than later. I'm trying to think if there's any other options. I think the Whirlpool is the best move. And then hope that Grand Temple misses a ton, which has happened before. And then at least they'd be in, if they keep their helmsmen after the attack, at least they'll be in striking range, and then they can home island horde. So I think that's the best play. I don't think building a fort on this wild island is going to help much. Well, it might, but I think they might try to wait and do that after this turn. So they're just going to go for it. So Whirlpool, so it's bad on a 4 through 6 per the standard rules, so they're safe. Morocco, she's either going to go here. She might press the advantage, yeah. Because then they could have a drop-off point for the gold. So also trying to make the Grand Temple decide which target to attack. Obviously, they'll go for the Cassandra, but they're just trying to make it slightly more confusing for the Pirates. So, or the HMS GT fleet, I should say. All right. So I think both fleet will have enough time at this point. So, all right, I'll do Albatross first, the GT fleet. Nothing there. Okay, so the other fleet really wanted them to be able to transfer it back to the Grand Temple. So it's kind of funny how that worked out, or didn't work out well for them. But I think we'll do the attack first. And if it totally fails, these other ships in the west, they might go farther to the west, but they'll probably be fine. I think this will sink the Cassandra. She's got Neptune's figurehead, so she might get captured actually. So let's see. So 1, 2, 3. All cannons in range. So to save time, I'm going to roll a bunch of dice. So now she doesn't have anything like Albatross, hindering her. So the 2L cannons will hit on 3s or higher. So I'm going to roll all those right now. Okay, 4. That's 4 for 4. So that's dismasted Cassandra. And I think they should capture her. They know she doesn't have an oarsman. So yeah, this is a disaster. Okay. Yeah, this is as bad as it gets for the Grim fleet. So yeah, I kind of was a little worried about this, that it's not competitive enough. So, and that's kind of being proven here, which doesn't surprise me too much. A little disappointing, but it's probably because of home island location too and extra actions and stuff like that. So, all right, second action for Grand Temple. Actually, she doesn't need to capture her yet. Oh, I guess might as well. Yeah, so she's going to capture Cassandra. Jolly Mon is coming home. And same with Banshee's Cry. Now there's no threat in the region, so they're good to go straight home. And Cor Dulion doesn't really have anything. Actually, you know what? She should intercept one of these coins and plus it up. So she'll do that just to jack up their score even more. So could call it, but I'd rather not. So all right, so Morocco. Yeah, this is ugly. Morocco doesn't have much to do. They can build a fort, but they're just going to lose the fort. So I guess they'll try to steal Cassandra somehow. But yeah, it's basically over. I'm gonna like really go fast here. So Morocco can build a fort to extend the game even after these other coins get home, because then there's still gold available in play. But the problem is Grand Temple is just going to destroy the fort, and then they're just going to take it for themselves. So it would actually, in the long run, it would realistically decrease their score. So there's not much they can do. So I'm just going to try to finish it up real quick. Yeah, actually, I'm going to max out. I'm just going to. They're not going to bother plussing it up because it's basically just over. So Banshee's Cry and Jolly Mon both get home. So with 11 total between them, and then that's basically it. So, and basically, if I kept turn going, she'd get home. Cassandra is in their possession now. So now, not only could they destroy an enemy fort, they could repair Cassandra and then go raid the Grim Fleet home island for the gold they didn't use to build the fort. So the longer it would continue, it would just become even more lopsided. So I'll stop the timer there. So both fleets had times. That's cool. So I'm sure I'll try a 15-minute per fleet game at some point, but I think 20 is kind of a good, 20 seems like a good number as well. So, all right. So we'll see the damage here. So that's 10. So Barbie Banner was not loaded by Corsair ships. So it was worth 5 gold. And they've got some other 5 denominations between the 3s and 2s here. So 10, 15, 20, 25, 28 to 13. So HMS Grand Temple UPS wins its first game 28 to 13, prevailing over Guide Grim to the Goodies. So they only got the gold that they found there that they brought home. So a little bit disappointing, but still a kind of an interesting game. I think one big moment was when Hidden Cove got played to move the Banshee's Cry to that island, but that backfired. They were trying to basically delay UPS because they had already seen that this fleet was going to be a UPS fleet they were facing. So they knew that Grand Temple was going to dock here and start sending coins home, which is really tough to stop and also tough to deal with once they start accumulating gold. They usually keep raking it in. So they wanted to delay the UPS strategy, but it ended up not working out too well. Cry got captured, coins got sent home anyway, and then Cry was able to use the trees to repair and start running gold almost immediately, going to the southwest and back home. So pretty rough game for the Grim fleet. A little bit more of a gimmick fleet. I think overall the Grim fleet either needs some kind of extra actions, like they could really use their own Micron. Cassandra not being able to go from one island to another in one turn because of the 3L minimum distance is really tough. So she really benefits from either her own Micron assistant or being able to basically just have shorter distances, like 2L or less between islands, and then be able to unload right after raiding, stuff like that. So pretty fascinating though. Pretty quick game. Looks like it took
the actual play took less than half an hour, which is cool. So yeah, still over 12 minutes or over 13 minutes still left on the clock. So pretty interesting. I think the Grim fleet could also benefit from some kind of combat capability, but it's tough to add that when it's such a tight build total. I really like Morocco to be able to have a good gold runner, and she did perform pretty well. I think that island spying ability is really key for being able to guide Grim, just like the fleet title says. So it's tough because even if you swap out Morocco for a gunship, that's only 11 total points. So you could get like Longshanks, Captain Helmsman maybe, but I don't really think that wouldn't really do much against Grand Temple either. So it's quite possible that this HMS GT UPS fleet is one of the better UPS fleets. There is a chance that it could become like an all-time great fleet. So although the Grim fleet kind of got wrecked here, they still got 13 gold, and I think they're probably just not suited for like fully competitive play. I think this was too tall a test for them in their debut game. So I think it's still a pretty good fleet though. So I'm sure I'll use it again, but maybe not against some of the best like UPS. So anyway, hopefully you like the game. Feel free to like the video. There's gonna be affiliate links in the description, where you can help out the channel and my site Pirates with Ben by buying from them and get a commission from eBay and or Amazon in some cases. And really appreciate you checking this out. I'd love to hear what other kinds of games you want to see this year. I'm mostly doing competitive early in the year, but feel free to comment what kind of games you want to see played, or what kind of videos in general you want to see. So thanks again for watching. Feel free to subscribe for more Pirates content. I'll see you.